Hello, hello. How's it going? We are out here. Time to beat up some futuristic Doombots. Guess we're gonna start with this. I wonder if you ever put Quake in here just as a like casual fuck you to move. Or not Quake, Scream in the Quake spot. Hey Lamp. What's up, Snap King? I'm doing pretty good, chillin'. Big chillin'. Did some Christmas shopping today. I realized I was running out of time, so I got that done. That was good. I think I'm gonna get a new webcam too, mainly because I want to be able to do like full screen video stuff whenever I want to try that, and I feel like my current camera doesn't look that good when I full screen it. It looks fine in this little box, but to lose to Cage Doom 99, true, but surely most of the Doom decks haven't figured out they're supposed to run Luke Cage, right? It seemed to work pretty well for Stefan. Supergiant is kind of some goated tech, because Supergiant means they get one less bot. 5 Immersive Celebi, congrats. We did a pack opening with Blue the other night, and it was the craziest 100 packs I have seen in the game. I'm going to shamelessly plug it, because if you want some free dopamine, it's worth watching. It was really good. It was really good. Really good is a fucking understatement. Check it out. Help revive my dying Pocket channel. It's probably not dying, but the algorithm has not been kind to me for taking, I don't know, a month off or whatever. It was already an uphill fight with the algorithm because that's my old VOD channel. They get decent views. Neither of the Pokemon things I've done in the last 2 days have gotten very many views at all. But it's to be expected, I suppose. Lee Raid, thanks Lee. Hope you had a good stream. Hope you're enjoying the WoW. Yeah, it's weird. I don't really understand. I think part of it is the YouTube algorithm's a little fucky for that channel because it used to be my VOD channel. So I built it on something. I built it on Snap VODs and Snap Shorts. And then I switched it to Pokemon. And the Pokemon stuff did pretty well. But it's very hit or miss. Sometimes, like, one of the videos that did alright was like a Pikachu video that didn't do anything for 2 days. So I'm just kind of waiting and seeing what happens. I enjoy making them anyway, so it either pops off or it doesn't. But if I'm having fun with the game, it doesn't take that much effort for me to make these videos, because most of it is just clipping stuff from the stream and slapping an intro on it. Magikarp, yeah. It is a little Magikarp. But I think we're going to try this. I do worry the points output isn't here, though. I do have concerns about the points output. It feels kind of low. Opened 60 packs of me, so I got two God packs and 60 packs. That's crazy. And Mew Crown and 5 Celebes. That's nutty. 2 God packs and 60 packs has got to be a record. That's crazy. Need EX emotes for tier 3 subs, based and true. Yeah, I've never gotten a God pack either. No God packs for me yet. I mean, I'll try this. I will try this. I wonder if Copycat should be in this. Is Cosmo actually doing that much work? I feel like Cosmo is not doing that much work right now. What is Cosmo countering? Like, you could snipe the Doom, but your odds of that happening are low. Someone should give me $100 so I can open packs. Me too. Me too. Just a casual 100-pack opening. I mean, I'm relegating my pack opening down to the free packs daily. I did get a banger free pack today, though. When I was going to bed, I got the full art blue. And then my second free pack, I got 2-star Mew. Or I got the alt art Mew, which got me this Celebi icon. No God pack in Apex and opened almost 1K packs. So you were due. The pack gods knew you were due. That Sparks opening a pack today and it was fucking full art Salandit. Feels bad. I'm gonna put Copycat in over the Cosmo, and we'll see how it feels. Because I feel like it's just a great time to play Copycat. If people are playing regular Doom, Copycat, good. Suji. I always like Suji decks, though. They're fun. But yeah, this is the Mew I got. It's pretty sick. What's up, Skylar? Do I like Doom 2099? My thoughts on Doom 2099 are as follows. I very much like the design of that, like, brings back old iconic cards. So in the sense that it lets me play Doom again, I think that's cool. It seems a bit, like, overly pushed, in my opinion. Like, the numbers on it are really high, and I think it is going to do the classic thing of, it's going to create a metagame that it's going to be like, you must be this tall to ride as long as it is a strong deck. And I'm not usually a fan of that. So it's like, I don't really mind playing against it all that much. But I don't love the effect it is going to have on the metagame as a whole, if that makes sense. Do this to draw tube? Well, I could also swap these. At least it's hard to set up. Yeah, totally. The amount of times I won games yesterday where I played 3 cards was very silly, in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. Like, the decks it pushes up are things like Clog, Hella, decks that just go super duper tall. I think when that happens, you end up with a generally less enjoyable meta, in my opinion. Especially because we had a really good meta. Meta was pretty top tier. Why are they putting Doom in this deck, bro? Why is Doom here? My guess is they're gonna, like, try and Magneto pull me to here. So I push this over here and then I do this. Classic predictable move. Boom, boom. That's an interaction many of you probably haven't seen before, is the rickety bridge blowing up an unflipped card. Cam was running a Scream Doom 2099 deck? Interesting, I haven't seen that one. I feel like one of the benefits of the move deck, though, is that on 5, sometimes your best play is like Arrow Bob / Miles or Cannonball Bob Miles. Sandman Electro archetypes need some push. They're unfortunately boring and easy to play. I do find it less boring than Surtur, so it's got that going for it. Well, Doom hasn't needed to adopt those cards, right? Because Zabu and Psylocke are better than Electro, and Sandman isn't really needed when a lot of other people are playing Doom. So it's just not really needed right now. Now, if things change a bit, I could see Sandman being relevant. But I feel like I saw this development coming, so basically I just got my fill of the metagame before this happened, and now I can just kind of take it at my own pace. Why is he snapping? Move stuff? Do you ever think they'll bring a new archetype like additional hand size, allowing more cards in hand? I don't know. New archetypes are historically difficult to add and snap. Ooh. Ooh. Nice Doom on 3. Be a shame if something happened to it. That's pretty funny. Arsham still trying to fuck me. Yeah, it's pretty interesting and fair gameplay. Pretty interesting and fair, if you ask me. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 would make Sage 8. I could shrink this, which would make 5. Or no, I should just do this. Look at. Aha! Suck my ass, Arsham. Take your multiple 6-drops for 3 mana and shove it. Negasonic hard carrying that game. I think we probably would have gotten clapped if they had Doombots. They're playing Puzzle Master 2099. Yeah. It's just ugh. Ugh. Also, oh man, the fucking some of the Twitter takes today have been wild. I feel like some people have not been enjoying how much some Snap people are liking Pokemon. Regis is my goat, though. Regis is actually the content creator goat, in my humble opinion. People of Snap, I implore you, denying the game's problems isn't a way to protect it. Snap's my career. It provides for my family. I want it to win badly. But players know how they feel. I have to pressure the game to be better, not pressure players to change how they feel. The man is just good at speaking words that resonate pretty well. It's like, it's not any of our jobs to change how players feel about something. Yeah, like, I think it's good that we finally hit a point where, you know, people aren't afraid to voice their opinions. Like my meme, this annoyed me. This thing actually annoyed me. Fucking power creep in MarvelSnap. Man, this game sucks. So unfair. Power creep in Pokemon Pocket. Man, this is crazy. So much fun. Crazy cards. Card gamers in a nutshell. It's like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, the game is 2 months old. Go back to when Snap was 2 months old and look at how it was then. People weren't complaining about power creep even when Zabu and Surfer were coming out. I mean, a few people were, but not many. It's because the game is new and it's fun and people are enjoying it. It's like, just let people have fun. Like, this comes to all card games eventually. It's like, who gives a shit? And it's like, well, Pocket's gonna have all these issues with monetization later, and it's like, maybe, sure, like, and if it happens, I'll be happy to critique it like I critique Snap, you know. But when I'm having fun with a card game, it's like I'm just gonna enjoy having fun with the card game. Really, so much of the discourse has been like this to me. I feel like there is a section of people in Snap who don't enjoy Pocket, which is totally fair, by the way. I don't expect everyone to like Pocket, and it's completely valid not to find Pocket as fun as it's completely valid to not find Pocket as fun as Snap or other games or whatever. Totally fine, to each their own, no problem with that. But I feel like so much of the conversation ends up being this. It's like they're not having fun with it, and they're seeing other people having fun with it, and they're like, stop it, I don't enjoy this. How come you're enjoying this? It's like, shut the fuck up. Just let people enjoy the thing. If you don't like it, why are we talking about it? Like, go focus on the thing you like, you know? It's very different than, like, I think criticizing a game in the hope that it becomes better. Like, this doesn't strike me as a trying to make Pocket better criticism. It's like, oh, I don't like this and I don't understand why other people are liking this. It's just fucking dumb. Regis spitting again. The difference here is people feel like they can actually acquire Pocket's cards, so there's hope and excitement to play the new thing. Snap creates dread and anger because you think other people will have the fun, strong new thing and not you. Incredibly true. As I've said before, I think eventually Pocket's monetization pressures will catch up with it, but for now, there's a stark difference between Snap's progression is paying its price and it's paying a price in engagement and attrition. I enjoy Snap far more than Pocket from a gameplay standpoint, but they have to make players feel better about progression to survive. I've never played another card game where people dread new cards so much. I always hated that about Snap. And it's like, yeah, like 100%, 100%. Also, I'm gonna do a little bit of self-glazing here, because as a streamer, my takes are always correct, right? Like, this is a big thing for me. And we're getting an ad, so I'm going to wait to say it because I don't want you to miss it. You can also avoid missing it by seeing if you have a little thing called Twitch Prime. Boom. Hashtag ad. It's amazing how many unhappy people that hate the game still play the game and spend so much money, time, how they hate the game. I think there are different levels to it, right? Like, there's definitely a group of people who, like, actively don't enjoy the game and don't want it to get better. But I think most people, criticism comes from a place of wanting the game to be better. Hello. Otherwise, it wouldn't matter. Hey, Yakemon with the Prime. Thanks. I appreciate it. It helps me do what I do. And I hope you enjoy the emotes and the ad-free viewing experience. Let's get some Pogfish in the chat. Yeah, it's like... So, I definitely have a unique perspective on this because I critiqued things about Snap early on, And it was always coming from a place of wanting the game to be the best it can be, because I feel like I saw so much potential in Snap. It was like, there is so much... Snap had the potential, I think, to be the best digital card game by like a wide margin. Like, I think it really could have dominated the market so much more than it did. Like, it really had so much potential. And if you go and you look back at what a lot of other, you know, some of the bigger creators have said in the past, many people felt the same way. I remember Dara used to talk about it a lot. And I think he had some interesting insight from, you know, previously working over on like the Hearthstone team and whatnot. So it's like, and the tricky thing with Snap too is, and I mean, I bring it up in here too. The tricky thing with Snap is people like the game, but this is very normal in card games. People, you know, you'll run into a period of time and where you might not like the game as much. Like, and that's normal. Like, maybe you don't like the meta. Maybe you don't like the new card. Maybe you don't like what Doom 2099 is doing in the game or whatever. What I think Snap does that I think is kind of negative, and the acquisition's a part of this, Snap really works very hard to keep you on the treadmill. Like, I want to do... I mean, I talked about it in that like video I recorded and haven't edited, but I think I need to shorten it down. But basically, Snap works very, very hard to keep you on the treadmill because its free-to-play resources are very valuable. And if you fall off that treadmill, you fall behind pretty quickly. And because of how the economy is structured and how Spotlight caches are set up, you can't really just get back on the treadmill super easily without paying a fairly large cost, which I really just think is not good, because other card games let you do that. Like, and it doesn't even have to be a long break. Great example, Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering. Hearthstone and Magic, you can stockpile 3 days of quests. It gives you, like, if I don't want to play a ton of Snap, but, you know, I still want to play the game long term because I know I enjoy the game and I'm going to want to come back to it when, you know, something shifts, I don't have to play it every day. I can log in, you know, twice a week or whatever, and I can clear out the quests. And sure, maybe I'm not getting maximum value, but you still get, like, you're not falling super behind on the currency. And I think that what happens is it breeds this kind of negative feeling where people are invested. They invested a lot of time or money or both, and they have, you know, invested their enjoyment into the game. They want to keep enjoying it. I think one of those things that is hard for a lot of people to articulate is people know, hey, I liked this thing a lot. I really, really liked this thing. And now some time has passed, and I don't like this thing as much as I used to. And it's kind of hard to nail down the exact reason why. Maybe it's balance. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not being able to access all the cards you want to access. Maybe it's something as simple as you've played a lot of the game, and like any game in the world, you basically get, you know, more bored of it over time, right? Like, that's very normal. I mean, I think I'm at that point right now where it's like, I think I would enjoy Snap more as a game than I do presently if I felt like I could just, like, take, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks off and then come back to it with, like, a fresh set of eyes. But because of the way their economy is structured, what I miss out on by doing that, especially as someone who does content, it's just, like, not super viable for me to do that, because to catch back up, to miss those weeks, it's like the cost that I would have to pay to get around that is their asking price is way more than that's worth to me. It's just, maybe that would have been worth it to me like a year ago or something. It's not worth the money to me. what they're asking anymore, because the main thing this comes down to is the tokens, right? Because if let's say I miss a card and that card is a key card and I end up needing to get the card, the spotlights are irrelevant because the card isn't going to come back for another fucking 8 months or whatever. So your only avenue is tokens, and tokens are expensive. And even as someone who used to have a pretty big token stockpile, like, I'm starting to run out. As someone who used to spend a lot of money and doesn't spend a lot of any money anymore. So it's like, the game does a lot of things to keep you engaged with it every day, is the point I'm trying to make. And I think that worked out very well for them at the start, but we're starting to see the negative implications of people feeling that, like, I need to do this in order to maximize the resources. And I think it is just compounding negative feelings about the game, basically. I do think taking a break versus stopping entirely are different things, but what I have seen a lot of is someone will take a break and then they come back and then they feel like they're on the struggle bus when they come back, and that eventually leads to quitting. Like, I think a lot of people don't want to long-term quit, but I've seen way too many times where a short break turns into a long-term quit, and that's why I think they so desperately need some kind of catch-up mechanism, you know? Like, they need something. And then Snap has a unique problem in that a lot of the issues we talk about, they are in part localized to the engaged online community. Like, you're only going to be in a Twitch chat talking about the game if you're, like, kind of passionate about the game, right? Like, you're not just showing up here just for the hell of it, right? Like, it's because like, you have some vested interest and you care about it. And so obviously, you know, we'll hear these issues, like, more from this section of the community. And I think, largely speaking, they designed this game really not to need to rely on that portion of the player base. But what I think is very interesting is going off of, like, the one public metric we do kind of have, being the, you know, when we get the massive boost from Twitch drops, when a lot of the casual people come over to get their free stuff. It's very interesting to see a reduction there, because we really don't have a good way to read what is going on in the casual space, because it's so far removed, you know, from, like, the people we interact with. But the Twitch drops have been really interesting to see, because that, to me, says, I can't tell you for sure what it is that is making the casual players that show up for Twitch drops react the way that they do. Maybe it's the same things, maybe it's different things, but there's something happening there that seems to be larger to me than our online Snap community, which I think is very interesting. All these news cards come out, sizes saying one would move, and barely any new cards. Funny to me, people crying about not having good enough cards. I think saying not having good enough cards isn't, I think that's misinterpreting the problem. I think a lot of people are like, you need the new card. Like, if you think you need every new card to compete, you're just, like, wrong, right? Like, I think the people who say that are definitely wrong. You don't. In fact, one of the cool things we kind of learned going over the past year of Snap history meta stuff, right? Was that for the first year of Snap, decks were very sticky. They didn't, like, change super dramatically, and that's part of what I actually talk about in this post, is, like, Snap's one card a week system. I think it's not a great way to run a card game, personally. At least not for what I enjoy most about card games. I just don't like I liked it at first, but I feel like it hasn't aged well for me. Because with Pocket, like, Pocket's reminding me how much I like big set releases. I like that so much more than one card a week. It's not even remotely close. I'm so excited about all the options, and not even just for me to play, but to see, like, there's not enough time in the day for me to basically try out everything I want to try out, but I can look and see what other people are trying out and all this other stuff. Like, it's so much more interesting to me than just being like, all right, I made a Doom deck. I tried my Doom deck. I'll look at the other people who made Doom decks. There's a lot of overlap. Like, it's just, I don't like how Snap System pushes everyone to try the same card the same week or try and hard counter it if you're not. It ruins some of what I think is the beauty of creativity in card games. And it also has like a very weird effect, creating like these like short temporary metas. So I don't think, getting back to the original point, I don't think the issue is that people feel like they can't compete necessarily, because I imagine most people who are playing a decent amount of time will have at least one or two good decks, and it's very easy for someone to lose and like kind of scapegoat like, oh, it's because I didn't have the cards, rather than like trying to identify, oh, I made a mistake, I didn't play perfectly, right? But I think all this comes back to that initial feeling of like, hey, I used to have way more fun with this, why am I having less fun? And I think having, it's not about the power per se, it's about being able to engage with the game in new and interesting ways. Because when I very rarely skip a card, but when I skip a card, and especially if it's on like a no OTA week, holy shit, do I have very little desire to play Snap. And that's because I have played like 4,000 or 5,000 hours of the game, and I've explored more decks than I can count, and I've played a whole lot of the game. So it's like when you've played a bunch of the game, and now, you know, the game's 2 years old, many people who've been around since the start have played a lot of the game. Maybe not as much as I have, because, you know, streamer shit, but people have still played a ton of the game. So they naturally get more bored with the things they've had access to for a long time, and that makes there be more of a desire to engage with new things, which is where like the card acquisition stuff comes into play. Because then if you have some bad luck with your keys and you can't engage with as many of the new things, you find yourself not having as much fun or being able to explore things you want to, and it's just it compounds in this cycle of frustration, and it's very unfortunate. So it's like these issues are kind of entangled. Ultimately, card acquisition is always a big part of it, but I think it's a little bit more dynamic of an issue than just like, hey, make the cards cheaper. Like, I think there are a few other things that it's easy to say it's just the card acquisition, because that's an easy pain point to identify. But I think you could make it better tomorrow, and it wouldn't fix some of it would help. It would definitely help. But I think it wouldn't fix all of the feelings people have. And it's kind of interesting. It's I don't know. I'm glad y'all seem to enjoy these kind of discussions. And I try and facilitate a place where even if I like disagree with like a take about something or whatever, I think it's good people have a space to like, you know, provide room for like discussion about this stuff. Because so often on the internet it's like, well, agree with me or you're wrong. And it's like, as someone who studied communication, it's really important to me that like we can have a bit more like nuance, you know. One thing and Pocket really opened my eyes to a few different things. The biggest one was the whole like treadmill and what Snap asks of you on a regular basis. I'm not saying Snap's asking the world of you. It's not. It's asking like, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes a day. And for a long time, I was like, all right, that's fine. I'm not bothered by that. And I was enjoying the game enough, and I was like, yeah, I'd like to do this anyway. Not a problem. But I found it when there were the times where I wasn't enjoying the game or the meta as much, that the time it was asking me definitely felt much more grating, and it made it feel like a chore rather than something I was doing for fun. And that's never a good thing. And then when Pocket came out, Pocket was fascinating to me because I binged Pocket really hard, like for the first like 3 weeks. And then I was like, all right, I've had my fill. I want new cards, like, so I'm just gonna wait for new cards. And Pocket's biggest W to me is the fact that I essentially fucked off from the game for a month, but I still engaged with it 1 to 2 minutes a day, opening my packs. I didn't even have to play the game to not fall behind on the free stuff. That was so huge. That is actually probably the biggest thing that will make sure I continue to play that game, is because the opening, like, the pack opening thing is fun in its own right, even if I don't want to play the game, and that's all I have to do to keep up. It's actually amazing. Like, I think they cooked so fucking hard with that idea. It's actually crazy, and it's been really cool to see my more casual friends who I usually have a hard time getting into card games, even though they like card games. Like, they just don't stick with them most of the time. They've been sticking with Pocket. Even someone I know who wasn't super into it, like, at first, came back and came around to it and is having fun with it. And it's, I don't know, that makes me really happy, because it's always more fun to enjoy these games with friends. And as someone who's played a bunch of card games, even as someone who has friends who traditionally like card games, like, I've played probably thousands of hours of, like, Magic with my friends. It's hard. I found it challenging to get people to stick with digital card games, and that's for people who enjoy card games to begin with. It's an even bigger challenge if they're not already card game heads. All right, let me catch up on chat because I've been yapping. Played nearly every day for almost 2 years. I'm starting to feel burnt out. Feel a break coming. If there's a chance I don't come back. If I do, there's a chance I don't come back. Yeah, like, what I think will probably happen is some people will take a break. They come back. It depends how long of a break it is, but if you find yourself so behind, then I think a lot of those people are just going to be like, well, I'm just going to continue my break until we get news on card acquisition. If it's good enough, maybe I'll come back. I think that's where a lot of people are going to end up being. I just wish that, and this isn't really a unique criticism to Snap, this is more a criticism to largely the whole mobile gaming and games as a service industry. Like, Second Dinner, you know, they're just kind of playing by what seems to be proven to be effective in the market, unfortunately. It's kind of like we talked about the soy face thumbnails. It's like I dislike a lot of things they've done over time, but there is an aspect of it where it's like, damn, like, don't hate the player, hate the game, because it works. It sucks that it works. it's very effective. But I do think the level that the FOMO is turned, and like what it demands of you, is not great for long-term sustainability in terms of, like, people being able to enjoy the game as much as they would like. Because breaks in card games are so healthy. Like, every time I've taken a break from Hearthstone or Magic or whatever other card game I've played, it's always really fun when I come back and return to it, like, months or a year later, however long. Like, it greatly improves my enjoyment of the game. And it feels like they're so scared to let people take a break. Probably in part because they know, like, they probably have numbers that show when people take a break, they have a harder time coming back. So they're just like, well, just don't ever take a break. And that works for a while. It's worked for them for quite a while, but I don't think it can work forever. It's common for certain people to ask your rank when they hear you criticize the card acquisition. Like, if you say it's high, then you shouldn't have an issue. If it's low, your opinion doesn't matter somehow. Yeah, I think that's dumb. I think that's very dumb. I don't think your performance in the game has much to do. I mean, Scott is a great example of this. He's a relatively newer player who has access to way lower of the card pool, and he's like number 2 right now. Like, it can be done, and I don't think the reason many of us are criticizing card acquisition is because it feels like we can't compete. I think that's just, like, not a great argument. I think the only time that argument's really relevant is if it's like a brand new player and one of the small section of those players who makes it to Infinite and is like CL 1000 or below and is just getting dunked on by all these Series 5 cards. Like, yeah, that's gonna suck, and you are legitimately going to have a harder time. But that's a very, very small portion of the population. Let's see. Scarlet Magic Copacer, it's so good. You love to see it. For me, it's lack of new game modes. I think so. The new game modes thing is a very interesting point, because what I talked about earlier with, you know, people being like, I used to have way more fun with this, I want to have that same level of fun again. A lot of people, I think, are the easy thing to go to is like, all right, just make a new game mode that makes me have more fun, because it just makes sense, right? Like, give me a new way to play the game and it'll make it refreshing and it'll be more fun. But unfortunately, it seems to be easier said than done to do that. Example being Deadpool's Diner. High Voltage was kind of a good example of it, even though I know it wasn't for everybody. I do wish they did more game modes, though. I think they should explore more in the space, but it seems to take them a long time to develop that stuff, and I don't know. I don't know. It's tricky. Let's see. I only feel good when getting a new card if it's 1 cash. But that's even mostly relief and not joy. Yeah, it's like... So when they first showed off the Spotlight system, people were kind of excited about the Spotlight variants. Like, they're like, oh, they're this exclusive thing and whatnot. But what happens naturally over time is you get variants for cards in this game. Whether you buy them or you open them or whatever. And so the longer you play, the less value variants have. And then they increase the amount of cards releasing, and the schedule is still like dumping cards a lot of people aren't really interested in. Rather than like if this Spotlight had 1 card from like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, the reception would be remarkably different, I think. Like, you don't even have to make it a full banger week. You just have to not make people wait 6 months or more for a card to return again. And I think their concern is, if they do it too soon, people won't go for the card on the first spin. And so they drag it out as much as possible, but I think they're dragging it out way too much. What's frustrating is that when the Spotlight Cash system launched, Broad around records saying that they'd have to do big series drops in the future to keep it viable, and then they did the opposite to squeeze the economy. Yeah. The Broad quote is definitely kind of funny. Just collect on Pocket for now until they release more cards, and I got every card free to play from the first set. Congrats. Thanks, Gio. Imagine taking a break after Loki's Reign of Terror and coming back now. Yeah, right? I know people who did this. I know people who did this. They had a rough time. Leaving and coming back would be fine if there was an eternal format. So, this is an interesting point. Rotation is a very, I think, challenging thing for them to leverage in this game because of the overall smaller card pool. They don't want to split their player base, for sure. And as much as they like to talk about, you know, what's the things make money, the cards make a lot of money. Like, ask anyone who's a very large whale where their money is going. The large whales aren't balling out so they can get every card. The large whales have been able to get every card for a long time because they already put the money in. The large whales are balling out getting shit like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the end game for every whale I know. Right? It's making your cards look cool. It's one of the coolest things of Snap is their unique collection or unique variant and split system. I think it's one of the coolest things. Like, they hit so hard with this. It's fantastic. So making that like where you're kind of juicing your biggest spenders who probably make up more than half of the game's revenue, you are naturally going to be like, I would like to avoid a rotation at any cost. Yeah, even Hitmonkey over the Dakin would have been slightly better. I don't think it would have been like amazing better, but it would have been better. Hitmonkey's a played card, Dakin isn't. Like, anything helps. It's just the December weeks are just laughably bad. They are laughably bad. We had someone come in chat who had taken a break for like the better part of this year and we asked them what they thought about the Spotlight caches this month, and they're like, "Oh, they're bad. I own most of the non-new cards." That's someone who has been gone for the better part of a year. They came back when Fenris came out. It's like, if the system isn't helping a player like that, who is it helping? Who is it helping, you know? It's like, that's in theory the way Spotlights work. That's supposed to be the player who benefits the most from something like this, right? Because you're supposed to, like, well, Spotlights get better if you skip a card and then it eventually comes back. And in concept, Spotlights really weren't that bad of a concept. It's just the scheduling of both which cards can return when and the lack of series drops have really squeezed the system. And truly, I think what pushed it over the edge was the extra new card. I think the extra new card 100% pushed it over the edge. Like, at its core, Spotlights were fixable. They are fixable, even. But I don't think they want to iterate on it. Because if they wanted to iterate on it, I think we would have seen them do something. The only thing they did with Spotlights, they made it so it's a key, so you can't accidentally misclick and open a cache. And then it used to be a variant for your duplicate, and then they changed it to 1K tokens. Those are the only changes they've ever made to Spotlights, and they were both pretty early on in its life. And given how much they've talked about card acquisition, I think it's very clear to me they do not want to adjust this system. They want a new system. Because if they wanted to adjust it, it just shouldn't have taken this long, right? Can't do more than 1K tokens. Someone please think of the economy. Worst case scenario, flexible series drops are happening right now by restricting the best cards in Series 5. Also, this random slot is doing some real work. Like, I always find it funny how like so few people know, because the game doesn't tell you, how it's weighted for Series 4s when we have like double the Series 5s and Series 4s, and obviously all the new cards are Series 5, right? Even just making this a 50-50, I'm not saying it would fix the acquisition, but it would make it less bad than it is right now. Like, there are a lot of like little things they could do to make it less bad. But unfortunately, the can has been kicked for a while. So I think even if they did some of those little things, it's not going to be enough. Because naturally, the longer people wait for something, the higher the expectations are. Which is why they're between a rock and a hard place right now. So to a point now, I'd rather get 1K tokens than any of the returning cards or cards I'm missing. Really? That's interesting. And it's because, like, their system is constrained by the fact that they can't adjust it in a way that makes it easy for the people who are already mostly collection complete to keep up easier without having to invest additional resources. And the people who suffer from that are basically like everyone who's not those people. Because, like, for example, I am not struggling for resources, right? I have a large amount of caches. And mind you, I'm not someone who's spending a shit ton of money on this game anymore. I'm kind of coasting off of prior spending. But that's what they don't want that. They don't want someone to be able to do that, which is why, like, if they buff the economy, they don't want someone like me to be able to coast off of what I have easier, right? Because then it's going to take longer for me to have to, like, actually buy something again. And what I have is probably kind of small relative to, I'm not even gonna say like large whales, like even like small whales. I've seen people who have so many resources. It's just like it's the economy's very weirdly imbalanced, and I think they actually could do a better job of like finding a way to make their money not focused on the card acquisition stuff, because like people love the splits and blinging out their cards and all this stuff, and I know so many people who spend so much money doing that. It's like, why do we have to make both of them prohibitively restrictive? I didn't even read my post though. Whoops. I did talk about this though. 1 card a week model I don't like. I prefer traditional models. This is a big one. Makes it harder to invent new archetypes because of the structure. You can't, like, this is why new sets are fun, is because, like, you get to try more pieces together, and Snap very rarely gets to do it. You could say, well, they did, like, you know, Proxima and Corvus, or sometimes they'll do 2 cards back-to-back that both support an archetype, but it's kind of rare, and you can't really do much more than that because most of your, like, if being able to play an archetype is locked behind getting, like, both cards or 3 cards or 4 cards, most people are just going to opt out of that because they know, oh, I'm only going to get 1 or 2 of them, and then I can't do the thing. So it very much limits how they can make new decks, which I think does contribute to a bit of, like, a stale feeling, where it's like, instead of making new decks, we're kind of iterating on old decks, right? Like the, oh, hey, I'm trending. It's kind of like how the current Doom decks are a bit of an iteration on the old Sand Slam stuff. Yeah, the recent hand buff stuff, that took 3 to 4 months for, like, that to get, like, a more cohesive archetype together. It's just, like, I don't think that's the way to do it. But unfortunately, their system is structured in a way where they feel like that's the only way they can do it under the current system. And I think it's not good. Like, if you were around when they released Series 4 and 5 for the first time, genuinely one of the most exciting times in Snap. It was so cool. And even though it was not easy to engage with all of those cards at the same time, it was interesting to see, like, people had to, like, go one direction or the other. Like, I had tokens, but none of the Series 5s were showing up in my shop. So when I opened Shuri, I was like, all right, cool. I'm trying out Shuri. Like, Shuri is where I'm going. And other people were trying Thanos or Galactus. Or that was, like, one of the very few times the unique collection thing, I think, actually worked. I don't think it really has served as much of a purpose long term, but it did kind of work then, and it was interesting at least. I just wish they would do that again. Like, I think it makes for such a better card game when you have more options available. You can, so, like, when you go to watch someone stream MarvelSnap, you could be like, oh, I could go watch Binks play Galactus, or I could watch KM play Doom 2099, and it's like you have all these options where people are trying different things, and it makes, like, the content more interesting and playing more interesting. And so I think the fact that it's always, like, everyone's on the same new card each week, I just think that kind of sucks. I think it has made me definitely less excited as someone who really enjoys brewing in card games. We talked about this. The structure makes things less exciting, makes it hard to brew new decks, and then the treadmill, let people take breaks. Yeah, we talked about that quite a bit. So point out, oh no, I read that. It could alleviate that with archetype themed bundles. Yeah, so they have actually tried that once or twice on the web store. So a lot of people probably don't even know about it, but they did that with, like, kind of a starter variant bundle for, like, a Hella deck, and I think there was Mr. Negative too, and I thought that was great. I think that is such a good on-ramp for, like, a newer player. And if they could do that with, like, some of the newer cards, like, I don't know, a few months after they come out or whatever, it'd be great. It would be good. And you can still double dip because you could do it in a way where it's like you could sell, let's say, a pre-con deck, and it's like, well, what if someone's been keeping up and they don't want or they already own some of these cards? Like, let's say they want to do a deck like this, right? Let's say they want to do a Super Giant Precon, and it's like, well, yeah, it's great if you're missing Super Giant and Gladiator and Copycat and Red Guardian and Sage, etc., etc. But what if this product doesn't appeal to the people who are, who have all those cards? We want to reach that maximum amount of people. It's just like, we'll just replace it with a variant if they already own the card. And then you can sell to both audiences. Boom. Easy. The Hello one, that's basically what they did. They didn't even sell the base cards. They just sold variants. It's not even one card a week. It's 1.25 a week. Yeah, the math. 1 week of breathing room made a real difference when there was no new card in spotlights in the first week of season. I 100% agree. As someone who engages with the releases, I like that there's an extra card. I do not like the larger effects that has had on the economy for the larger player base, because I think that 100% made it worse. I think that greatly sped up the pain points we're feeling. Like, giving people a week to be like, oh wait, I have all these cards. I'll skip and I'll save my keys, because I very rarely head over to Reddit, but once in a blue moon, I like to just see what the discussion is over there, just kind of to have a bit of a laugh, because like, card game Reddits are not worth going on, man. This isn't unique to Snap, but like, it's not worth it, man. It's just not worth it. But I saw like this whole argument about like, well, actually the issue is people are too stupid to save their keys, and it's really their fault for gambling. And it's like, should people be gambling for the thing they want when they have less than 4? Like, probably not. But you also got to understand that the way this system was designed, it accounts for those people. The system would not exist as it does if it wasn't accounting for people like that existing. And I think a lot of people either don't know that or forget that. Like, the system would be designed worse if it wasn't factoring in those people. How's the countering going? So far, so good, I guess. I got banned from the Reddit for posting a screenshot of the Wambulance from the diner on every Crybaby post. 750 upvotes, but the mods are not pleased. Yeah, I mean, card game, I don't think usually many good things come from card game Reddits most of the time, unfortunately. It is what it is. It always boils down to just like people talking at each other and not really trying to have an interesting discussion. Yeah, exactly. It's the whole, if you miss it once, you miss out like forever, right? Or not forever, but for like months and months, which is pretty bad. What is this? Super Scroll? Super Scroll doesn't do anything. So I had 6. They're gonna get a bot, so I think I need the power here. That's so bad, man. That's so fucking bad. That's so fucking bad. Maybe Glad isn't it right now. Wait, I lose because of that? Fuck! Fuck you, Red Guardian! God damn it. Well, I lost because of the fucking gladiator screwing me. I lost because the gladiator's screwing me is why I lost. We were chilling before that. Ah, well. And also, to be clear, I have no problem, like that they want people to pay some amount of money for cards. I don't think every card should be free. Like, totally fine with that. I hate that they used such a stupid, shitty gambling gacha system. Even if it's better than many of the other shitty gamba gacha systems, it's still a gacha system. It still promotes gambling, and I don't like it. And I'm never going to like it, as long as it's something like that, because it preys on often people who have their brain wired in a way to be more likely to be predisposed to fall in that trap and take advantage of those people. And it's like, that's fine if they can afford it. Like, sure, whatever. The real unfortunate part is the people who get taken advantage of who can't afford it and then fuck over their life because of it. But again, this isn't like Snap is leading the market here. This is what mobile games are, and it's why I have a pretty large disdain towards mobile gaming as a whole. Yeah, I mean, well, it's just kind of like a classic straw man, right? Like, straw men come up quite a bit where it's like, well, you just want every card for free. It's like, nah, bro, I'm fine paying for cards. I paid for cards in Pokemon, even though I probably didn't need to drop the money I did, but I felt good about it. It's also like, one thing I can't overemphasize is like, I've spent a good amount of money in Snap and in Pokemon. Like, when I think about the money I put in Pokemon, and I think about putting the equivalent money in Snap, like, I get so much more enjoyment for so much less cost in Pokemon. It's actually crazy to me, the difference in value there. And obviously that's, like, you know, going to be different to every person, but it's a pretty remarkable difference to me. Well, I think the main games that make a lot of money off of cosmetics are the ones that are already like overly successful. Because there are a lot of examples of games that tried to go cosmetic only and had a rough go of it. So I don't mind that they want to make money off their cards. I'm totally okay with that. I just think their pricing structure is both way more than it should be, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't really, I don't know, like every other card game, like acquiring the cards is like fun. And I just don't get as much of that feeling in Snap, and it's a bummer. Because acquiring the cards should be fun. Like, that's, don't have Supergiant. Can I sub something? Unfortunately, this is a deck very much built around Supergiant. So how do I do this? I put this here, these swap, I put this here, and then we go, I think this is the way. Or I just find Negasonic and they get their cheeks clapped. I think this is the wave. Hope you're doing well, Waldo. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. I think this is the play. The only scary thing is that they play a big boy in the middle, which they could, but don't be a big thing in the middle, please. Hazmat, totally fine. Man Thing, significantly less fine. Unless there's no Cage here. Don't be Luke Cage. Do not be Luke Cage. Please. I'm asking very nicely for it to not be Luke Cage. Let's go. Alright, Quake's earning her role here. Common Quake W. Yeah, the citing competitive integrity with the wind training thing was kind of funny. That was kind of funny. I don't think that you should ever use the words competitive integrity, because everything that is quote unquote competitive in Snap really is about, like, at least the things they try and brand as competitive, like leagues or Conquest or whatever, they work very hard to create an illusion of competition. They try and make something feel competitive that if you ask anyone who is, like, actually tuned into how, like, competitive card games work, are like, no, it's not competitive. Alright, man, thanks for hanging out. You have a good one. Still waiting for Cersei to come back, and it's gonna be like 9 months. Yeah, when did fucking Cersei come out? Alright, wait, we want to move these. Because I'd like to play with the card, yeah. That's a pretty good reason, I think. Preach. Enjoy the rocks. What makes them snap back here? Turn 3 Galacta? We know it's not Doom. Oh, they could have gotten Doom, actually, because their deck shuffled. Well, I'm looking a little sad here. I'm looking a little bit sad. Classic Iron Lad. Do I even Suji here? I guess I do.
Wind, aid my hand.
This won't trigger anyway. Do I ever agent myself? Just do this, and then claw. Alright, I should still get one Doombot, right? Pretty sure. How big is this age even? 1, 2, 3, like 4. I'll get one Doombot on the final turn, which will push me into tiebreakers at the least. Oh no, but I need power here. I actually desperately need the power here. Fuck. Well, I can put 6 in the middle with Claw, so maybe we just reduce the power with Agent, and we Sage here. I think that's it. So I'll get a bot, which will buff this. Agent will reduce my side by 8, but it's going to reduce their side by 16. Fuck it, we're staying. We know they have Doom. No question there. That is the optimal placement for that. Larval. Oh, dude, that's so sad. That's so fucking sad. We lose by 1. There's no way to get 1 more point. The Blarval cooked me. Bummer. I mean, what really cooked me was this fucking lad. That's such crazy high roll when they had 3 rocks in their deck. But not well. So the other annoying thing about Doom is like it definitely promotes building it in a high roll way. Oh, we got the 1 bad copycat hit in the whole world. We got the 1 bad copycat hit. I assume Husky's playing Clog if he's running Goblin. Holy fuck, I do not like these locations. Definitely Clog. Put this here because we'd want to leave this empty because Claw can help us in the middle if he tries to clog me in the middle. Octopus. Fine by me. Sad. Man, Wakanda sucks. Oof, I really don't want to play the Negasonic and shuffle 3 rocks in my deck. But if I draw a Claw, I think I have to. I think I have to do this. So he's gonna cannonball my Supergiant to the right. But I have Agent. Let's see it. I can't play the Copycat because it's a Goblin. And this is Bob. Okay. I think I'm okay here. So I have 9. There's 8 minus 4 is 4, 5. Yeah. I think I'm chilling. We don't lose to Red Hulk. We don't lose to the Sea Ball. I guess he could like Red Hulk the right and Bob the left. No, but our Bob beats his Bob. I think we're good. Red Hulk, Titania. Oh wait, do I exactly lose by 1? I think I do. Oh wait, I get fucked because of it doesn't move the Supergiant either. I still would have lost by 1 if it did move Supergiant though. Yeah, Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we got fucked because Copycat hit the one card in the world you do not want it to hit. If we could have just played literally any card here, we won this game for sure. I did forget the Supergiant was going to shrink, though. That was a mistake. He could have played Titanium mid, too, but he felt like he didn't need to because of the C ball, which makes sense. What's up, Bandicoot? I'm pretty good. Doing pretty good. Making Adam activate draw. Activate draw would be very scary unless it was very highly costed. What's up, bud? Arsham, ew. What was the card I had? I had a rock and a copycat that was a goblin. Yeah, if I just had like any playable card on the right, I won. But I had no playable card. Feels bad, man. Happens. Oh, it moves left. Why was I thinking? I was thinking the other card. I was thinking of Aranya, not Iron Fist. Should have put it on the right then. What is this? Is this cable? Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Of course I get the Arsham. Oh, God. Oh, God. Not interested in that. One of those days. Snap is just doing the very kind thing of being like, hey, you should go play Pokemon Pocket. I'm going to take it up on that offer probably shortly. Because I am significantly more interested in exploring that metagame than the current Snap one. I might try a little bit of full brain off Hella, though, before we do that. No luck with the expansion packs. Feels bad, man. Yeah, I've seen a few people who've had it a bit rough on the luck. Got top 8 in the no EX. It's the only non-Blaine, non-Greninja. Congrats. What were you running? I should have played Copycat, I think, probably, here. But this kind of worked out, so I can't complain. But Copycat would have allowed me to go 2 and 3 this turn, so that was a bit of a mistake, but instead we're just going to do this, I guess. Try and get our free thing and see if it's any good. It's a Gore. It's a small boy Gore. It's a Wiccan who is not online. Should I use keys or tokens? If you have the tokens, I would use tokens. I think this is a very bad week. Aside from Dr. Doom. I mean, if I stay, I have to snap, right? So our Bob's move. Because otherwise I lose this lane every single time. Just hope it scares them. It did. New Primeape? Nice. The Super Giant deck feels pretty good. Dismal for cubes because I had some big. Oh, it could be worse. I got taken for 8 by 1 point versus a Doom deck. And I think I had another big cube loss, so we've kind of recovered a bit. Doesn't feel bad, though. Like, it feels pretty decent. New Rapidash is amazing. I did a whole little thread on some Pokemon decks for those who might be interested. Where is my thread? I spent the morning writing it up. Or part of the morning writing it up. Basically, so these were the decks I was showing off. So, new Budget Blaine. The Ponyta and Rapidash were massive upgrades to Budget Blaine. Like, this deck used to lean really hard on Ninetales. You no longer have to lean super hard on Ninetales, and that makes the deck way better. I low-key wonder if there's a better basic to play than Farfetch'd, but he's just a good cheap beater. So, I don't know. Also, 60 HP is a nice breaking point. Sizzlepede Wheezing deck won a tourney. I should really try Pokemon tournaments. I think it could be fun if I go and do it with the right mindset. This deck, which is basically the one Gambling Prince threw together in Cam's Discord that I really liked. I'm running double Sabrina, though, over the 1-1 split. I haven't touched the PvP for Pocket, but I'm having fun opening packs. Yeah, the packs are quite fun. This deck's very cool. Scoliopede. Or Scolipede. Very cool card. I like this deck quite a bit. It might be better running a 1-1 split with old Coughing, new Coughing, but I found you don't really use the damage on Coughing much. So basically having your Coughing essentially say draw a card and thin your deck and help you more consistently have a second Coughing so you can Wheezing Chain with Koga better seems good. Leaf is also so much better than I thought she would be. I thought Leaf would be kind of mid. Leaf is a really good card. Especially in this deck, but really in any deck that is using like higher retreat cost cards, Leaf is goated. And then Dragonite. So Mew plus Budding Expeditioner is just better Coughing Stall, I think, for Dragonite. It takes up less slots in your deck. It doesn't require evolving. It's tankier too, isn't it? Yeah, it's tankier. And Mew can be a threat. Mew can just come in off the bench with genome hacking and fuck shit up. The main issue I ran into with this deck is this deck would have been such a sick answer to Mewtwo if Mewtwo did not also get Mew. The fact that Mewtwo also got Mew is really problematic for this. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm sold on the solo Jigglypuff or not, but I've been trying it. But yeah, they can wall your... Because Mew EX can threaten Mewtwo, but the problem is it doesn't threaten an opposing Mew. So they can just bring in their Mew to wall you until they set up Mewtwo. 20th with Wiggly EX. I thought for a second you were saying you have 20 Wiggly EXs. I'm like, sheesh. But yeah, this has been pretty cool. These are some decks I've been enjoying. 20th is really good at 600 though. I did a little thread talking about it a bit. These are probably a bunch of the decks I'm going to be playing because I want to do video content on them. Like, we're probably going to start doing some more budget games with this and then go into some of these. I did want to try the Drudgegon or whatever it's called. So I get a lot of these Twitter's just been throwing a bunch of these Japanese player deck techs on my feed recently, and there are so many, I've lost count. There are so many. I mainly see it from Japanese players playing. They all love the new dragon, and so I'm curious because I feel like from like the the people I know in Pocket haven't been as impressed with the card. So I'm curious to try it. But a huge part of the reason I want to try it is because, and I don't know if this is just translate being weird, but it gets translated to Crimson Gundam, and I think that is such a gangster name for a Pokemon. A dragon called Crimson Gundam is just badass as shit. So I was like, alright, that's enough to make me want to try this. Even though I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but it's been cool seeing all the things people have been cooking. I've done a bit of cooking. It's been fun. All right, I want to play a few games with the Hella deck just to see how it feels into the meta. Because I theorized that it would work pretty well into all this shit, but I haven't tried it. And then I'm probably gonna do Pocket after that because I want to try Pocket stuff. Madam Web. Magic and Madam Web. What are they cooking, chat? What are they cooking? Discard Gore, ramp. Get another one. Upgrade this into something. Seems good. Zola. What the fuck are they playing, man? Wait, is their alliance the Danny DeVitos? What an alliance name. I love it. Do this. Do this. Oh, is this Galactus? Is this like a weird Galactus deck? I should do this then. And I should hold this, and then I can play this next turn and go Corvus Hella. Unless I pull Blade. Surely we don't pull Blade. This feels like it could be a secret Galactus deck. It's Kitty Pride. I'm confused. I'm gonna snap. Did I read them or what? Did I read them or what? I know a secret Galactus when I smell one. Now, why is Kitty Pride in this deck? I have no fucking idea. But I've watched enough Splat to know when Secret Galactus is a possibility. What's that Bane quote? It's like, you merely adapted to the Secret Galactus. I was born in it, raised in it. By the time I was a man, I had won over 500 games with a single location. Yeah, I was hanging out in chat when he did that. I was hanging out in chat when you did that. Splat's great. I love Splat. Super nice dude. Good streamer. Good player. We need more Splats in the card game world. They DC'd, I guess? It's kind of an unfortunate way to win, but I'll take my bonus cubes. Maybe they just closed the app as soon as the Galactus didn't go off. They said, that's enough MarvelSnap for today, and we're like, I'm out. Put in the Mad in Magneto. We're still 13 levels off, 14 levels off of our nice chibi. Oh yeah, I've definitely been there. I was there like half an hour ago when I lost to Doom by 1. I need some more higher tempo vibes from the music. This is a good one. Bum 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 bum. We're having a battle of the brainless here. Arsham versus Hela. Classic. Music loud. Oh, fuck you, Vision. Don't make hate. Roll the dice, play the fool. See, I'm just gonna slam it now. Oh, buddy, I don't know if you want to do that. Ah. Oh, we have a hot location today, don't we? That's why Titan keeps showing up. These nuts are the future. I am once again cordially inviting Arsham to suck my ass. I think his deck choice makes sense, though. You do the cute Legion, Titan, and then play a bunch of big idiots. sensible thing to do with the hot location, even if Arsham is still cringe. Do 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 do. Bum 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 bum. Probably a good day to play Hella though at the hot location. Pretty good day to play Hella. So what do you guys think the odds are we're actually going to get that post Griffin talked about before the end of the year? Do you think it's actually going to happen? Or is that going to be hit with a little bit of a delayage? I don't know. He said it. He gave a relative time frame, but I don't remember what it was. About the current state of the game? Yeah. Alright, what do I do here? I could rip their hand apart. It also rips my hand apart, is the only downside. I'd actually be super okay with ripping my hand apart if I could keep this blink. But since I have Magneto, I'm gonna do it anyway. Because it's funny. Oh, Christ. Chat, I would like to go on the record to say I have regrets. Actually, my regrets aren't that high, especially if I draw Hella. Because we can yoink them, too. If I top deck Hella, they are 110% cooked. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Man, that was kind of sick. That was kind of sick. Perfectly calculated. Bum 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 bum. A little Bow Wow. Just a cute little dog. Based Thanos enjoyer. That is not a good location for me. Guess it's bad for them too, though, unless they find Space Stone. Oh, motherfucker. I guess they can't do the stone to protect Thanos, though. Bum 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 banana banana na na na. Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. I still think I cooked with this holodeck. I'm pretty proud of this holodeck. Corvus, my goat. So we do this, and then we take a 50-50 on Hela in the middle. Pulling... Well, it's not even a 50-50. We still do this, though. We can even play Death in the middle, actually. Luna Snow? Brother, are you smoking that dank kush? I'm not sure you understand how that card works. I'm not entirely sure you understand how that Luna Snow card works, little bro. I think little bro's due for a lesson in reading comprehension. The schools need to get back in session. 69. Nice. Let's see. How are we doing with it? I feel like I'm winning quite a bit with it. Quick little 4-0. Quick little 4-0 with Hela, plus 11 cubes. Tweet that out. Cage helps for the U.S. agents, and also takes Corvus Hela seems pretty well positioned right now since it goes taller than Doom. Cage helps versus the U.S. agents. It also takes advantage of today's hot location, reducing 6 cost by 1. Seems good. Yeah, really the only... I really think the only thing this deck probably struggles into that's popular would be people playing Clog to counter Doom. I think Clog will give it trouble. But most of the other things, like, I'm pretty sure you can go taller than... You can definitely go taller than Doom. I think you can go taller than Move, but I haven't really gotten to play that matchup yet much, so I'm not 100% on that one. Like, Move, it depends what the Move deck does. There are definitely times Move will go taller than you, but hope we don't get a Clog meta. It already seems to be happening, right? Like, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be as popular as it was at its peak, but there's no doubt in my mind Clog is 100%, you know, making its way back into the fold because of Doom. Because there just aren't... The main ways to attack Doom are to limit their board space or to just go way taller than them. Tech cards don't really seem very effective against Doom because it spreads its power. To like Enchantress and Rogue, and I mean Super Scroll is effective in like the mirror, but Super Scroll doesn't do very much outside of the mirror. So I think it's just natural that Clog returns. I am gonna run to the bathroom real quick though. I'll be right back. Okay. We're back. I think it's pocket time. I think it's time to do some pocket. Countering Doom with Rogue and Red Guardian and Surfer. I've been running for a long time at Staples. Interesting. I think it's pocket time, though. I think I did what I wanted to do in Snap today. And now I would like to experiment in Pocket. Let me get that set up real quick. For my YouTube frogs, I am going to switch it to the other channel. because I'm trying to get the watch hours up over there. So if you like Pocket stuff, I would encourage you to pop over there if you want to continue the stream. I'll link it in chat. Pocket. You can find that here. And yeah, thanks for hanging for the Snap portion. I'll be back for more of that tomorrow, but now we're gonna do some Pocket. Let me get it set up.